I took 6 trades today, 3 of them being small losses, 2 wins, and 1 break even. I was right 33% of the time today with a 33% win rate, yet I was up $700 or about 14 points at the end of the day. I am making this video to recap the day's session of all the trades that I took and why I took them, confirming them with the order flow. I'm going to show you the ones that did work, the ones that didn't work, and I'm going to explain to you why there are so many misconceptions about win rate. In the market, you do not need to be right all of the time to make money. But what you do need to do is manage your risk efficiently and allow your wins to pay for your losses. I'm going to show you exactly how I did that in this video, but before I jump into anything technical, make sure you're following me on my Instagram at Bids and Offers. I post on here every day. I posted a ton of stories today talking about the trades that I took and why I took them and everything that had to do with today's session and yesterday's session. And I post all the time on here super valuable stuff, recaps, trade recaps, order flow details. You can always feel free to DM me on here if you have any questions. So let's just jump right into it. Basically, off the open today, we had some pretty aggressive selling come in. We opened up around these 900s and immediately dropped down to the 91s. Now, something that I was watching here was this low that got put in at 91. We actually pop up off that and then slam right back down through. On this move up in this area, I was actually shorting the market here at these 85s off of this positive delta. And I did not even want to get filled at the 85s. I wanted to get filled at the 86s or the 87s up here on the top of this candle. But I got a really bad fill on this and I immediately had to take a loss of about 3 points on this trade. So starting off with 1 loss, I waited for a little while longer to see if I could get another opportunity to short this. I got much better pricing at the 88.75s right here. As you can see on the book map, I'm going to show you what that looks like. We drop through those 91s, right? There's a big bid that gets filled here for about 1,100 contracts. And then we pop back up into this level and look at what happens in this area right here. These buyers are unable to lift the market through these offers at these 90s and 91s. So as soon as I see that happen at about 951 right here, I get the 88 3/4. I put my stops right up here above these 92s, targeting the low of day at the 80s. I was able to exit this trade right down here at these 79s for about 9 points of profit. This was a realized 3R multiple trade. You can see my exit right down here at the 79.5s, right below the previous low of day. That was a really nice trade, and now I was working with a little bit of profit. As the day goes on, we make this new low, we fake it out, and buyers pop it right back up again. Right in this area, I was actually looking to get in short off of this positive delta right here. This was a lot of trapped buyers. Remember, buyers have to buy into passive sellers and sellers have to sell into passive buyers. So when you see a lot of buyers who are trying to lift the market, but they can't get the move up that they're looking for, they are trapped. And I was essentially playing that thesis right here, trying to get short, targeting another low of day push. But I got stopped on this for 3 points, and then I sat out for a little while. You can see that execution right here on the footprint chart. I got short here at 83, speculating that this positive delta at 85 was unable to be broken through by buyers. And in the moment, it looked really good, but there's a really quick buying spurt that came in, and it lifted right up to these 86s, and that's where I cut this trade for another 3-point loss. Now, as we're rallying back up towards these 68.95s, I noticed that there's a lot of selling present in the market, but the market isn't really dropping all that aggressively out of this area. And on the candlestick chart, you'll see that the market was holding above this value area high, doing a lot of business, creating this high volume node right in the area above these 91s from earlier. So this was the flip of this level. You see how we kind of broke and retested it to the downside? Now we rallied through it extremely aggressively, and we're pulling back. And it looks like in the moment, I want to get long in this market, targeting a break of high of day, because I noticed that there's a lot of selling coming into the market, but the market's not moving down. I did get stopped on this trade as well right in here as the market slipped down through these 93s. You can see that right here, execution out 68.93 right into VWAP. Honestly, I probably could have avoided this trade because this was a little bit of a late entry. I was kind of chasing it all the way up here. I knew that I wanted to get a retest of these 90s in here, these 91s. That was my key level, and I bought it a little bit high up, and I paid for that with a stop right down into VWAP. As you can see right here, I got back into this trade long at 68.94, at about 11:13 a.m. My reasoning for that was seeing these sellers fail underneath these bids and in this market structure demand area right here before this aggressive rally up to these 99s. So seeing these buyers jump back into the market, trying to support the market above VWAP, we have a couple bids below that sellers are not really trying to sell into. I'm getting long in here at these 94s, speculating a high at daybreak. I'm going to show you what this trade looked like in this screen recording right here. So I get long in the market right here. I'm going to fast forward, and this thing does start to pop up. I put my stop right under this area of aggressive selling where the sellers failed. This thing actually is able to pop all the way up above the high of day, but it fails up there, and I get hit break even right there. Now I'm deciding to basically walk away and accept that the moves I'm looking for are not being continued, not being followed up with aggression, and I'm only going to put one more trade on if I really see a nice opportunity at my key level of 91, because that is the level that has been flipped all day. Now the last trade of the day, I got short here 68.90, speculating a move down towards the low of day because this 91 level got flipped by the sellers. I'm going to show you what that looks like on the book map right here. So we actually cruise down beneath these 91s and we aggressively rally back up on signs of buying here, but they fail above those 91s. You can see if I scroll back from earlier this morning, you'll be able to see over here on the left side of my chart, this line in the sand right here at 91. We bounced, popped up, failed, retested from the downside, it got flipped right here, and then the same thing happened over here. It got flipped right here as well. So right in this area, seeing that failure above the 91s, I hit it short in the market right here at 90, and I put my stops right up above at 92.5, right near this high. The sellers come in very aggressively, and this thing drops all the way down to the 76s. I'm going to show you the screen recording of that trade right now. So right in this area, we have this very aggressive pop up. You can watch the footprint in the middle of my screen. The footprint pops up, but it rejects right there. You see that immediate rejection and that volume tail up at the top, telling me that there's not much business that wants to be done above those 91s. Look, 800, 500 contracts down here compared to 150 and 40 up there. As I'm watching this and I see it break down, that's where I hit the market short right there, and this thing starts to immediately drop. I go break even at 7 points of profit. I have mean reversion on my side right in here, going through the center of the mean on the day. The sellers are continuing their pressure to the downside. I see this big lot of selling come through at these 80s, and now I'm watching to see when I can get out of this trade. I don't want to be greedy and hold on to the trade for too long, but I also want to maximize my profits and watch the tape in real time to validate my levels on the way down and see if there's anything that's telling me a reversal might come. So I'm watching the tape very closely in this area, and on this break, right down through this low, right here, and you see that big lot of selling come through on the zero prints, that's where I closed the trade for about 14.5 points of profit. This was a really solid play. My confirmation was trapped buyers above a key level that got flipped by the sellers, and I targeted the other side of the balance range, the other side of value. You confirm it with the order flow, you have context with the candlesticks, you look at the volume profile to put yourself on the right side with auction market theory, and ride the trade to an exit that is both high probability in you being able to get out there and rewarding on the amount of risk that you're taking to get into that trade. On this specific trade here, I only had to risk 2.5 points with my stops at the 92.5s. As you can see here on this footprint chart, I hit it short right here, right in this lot of trapped buying. These buyers weren't getting the move up they were looking for. I put my stop right up here, and I risked 2.5 points to take this trade off at the 75.5s for 14.5 points of profit. That is 5.6 times my risk on this trade. That means that technically I can win this trade 1 out of 5.6 times and be break even if I have the same risk parameters. Remember, you do not need to be right all of the time to be a successful trader. The most successful traders that I know actually don't have a win rate of over 50 or 60%. They win less than half the time, but their wins pay for their losses, and they focus on repeatable setups. If you show up every single day and you find repeatable opportunities that you know have worked before, and it makes sense, and you have that little click in your head that tells you, hey, don't pass up on this opportunity, take the trade. The best traders only trade repeatable setups, not go for home runs all the time. Base hits stack up more efficiently than you think. In this case, this trade was a little bit more of a base hit. 14.5 points of profit on 2.5 points of risk is pretty damn good. I had a win rate today of 33%, yet I came out $700 in profit at the end of the day. This is proof that you don't need to focus on having an extremely high win rate, and you need to focus on prioritizing your risk to reward ratios by using data in real time to identify the buying and selling pressures in the market to keep yourself on the right side of the market and have very tight invalidation points for your trades. Take one loss for 3 points, take one win for 9, 10 points. Pay for your losses and set yourself up for success by knowing the math behind your system, and show up every day in the market looking for the same ideas, and if they do not present themselves, do not trade. I hope you took something away from this video. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at Bids and Offers. If you want discounted bookmap, this tool over here that I use every single day, it is an extremely valuable dynamic tape and order book visualizer. It's a great platform. I highly recommend it. The link to get 20% off is in the video description. Every single day, I take trades like this in the live trading room. If you want to learn how to take trades like this every single day, join the live trading room. The students in there are learning so rapidly. Many students are taking very successful order flow trade setups on their own and learning how to develop their edge in real time. I'm also dropping the order flow trading guide very soon. For those of you who are on the wait list, thank you so much for sticking around and being patient. I'm finalizing some things with the visuals, and I'm going to make it the best that it can be. It will be out very soon. Everybody who's on the wait list gets it discounted at $159, and you get a bunch of bonus education content from me down the road in the future. So the link to join that is in the video description. I'm also offering very limited number of one-on-one sessions for people who want to really deep dive into order flow and fast track their progress towards becoming a profitable trader and building an edge inside of this market. If you are interested in participating in some one-on-one sessions with me, DM me on Instagram at Bids and Offers. That's all I have for today, folks. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope everybody has a great weekend. I'm going to make a really cool video this weekend that I think you guys will absolutely love. It's going to be something different, and it's going to be pure sauce and pure value. Thank you all for sticking around. I will see you next week. Peace out.